Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to welcome you to the first episode of the Purple Political Podcast. Now, this won't be an episode in which we go into depth on any specific topics. That will come. This episode is just meant to lay the groundwork, so to speak, of what you can expect from this podcast. So, let's talk about what you can expect from this podcast. The goal is to observe the political landscape in America and the topics that define it or are relevant at the moment, and use a new lens. A lens that for me has always been present in my life, and for me it's somewhat absurd that it isn't the standard. That lens being, wait for it, information. Real information, and a dry, analytical approach to using this information to make political decisions. Because, let's be clear, politics has always been emotional, but in the last decade, more precisely, since Donald Trump's first term in office, we have seen and felt a increase in emotional volatility and emotional extremism. I'll call it emotional extremism in the two parties that have a duopoly on power in America. For me, politics and emotions have nothing to do with each other and shouldn't. Your weakest moments are your moments where you are most emotional. These are the moments where you are most likely to make mistakes. These are the moments where you are brave in situations where you should probably back down, or you're afraid in moments where you should be strong. You are sad when you are in situations where you need to be happy, maybe. That last one is a bit of an extreme, but I'm saying emotions will tilt, will taint our judgment. Taint is a good word. I know this from personal experience. There was a situation in my life where strong emotions were basically making decisions for me, and what ended up happening was me facing very large consequences for that. And I guess what I'm trying to say is that this is my personal life, right? When we're applying this to a national level, to the political level, where every consequence or every decision has a consequence that affects not just one person. No, we're talking about an entire nation that is being affected. I think you could see the value in an analytical approach where we are less prone to making improper decisions. And now you might be wondering, well, we're human. We are emotional creatures, and that's true. However, I think it's possible to do this consistently without bias. And in fact, that is what I do. You see, in the coming episodes, I'll get into it more, but In the coming episodes, basically what I did was I sat down and I researched. I'm the type of person that can sit down and research into a topic that I find interesting, and I'll find myself in a rabbit hole for a few hours, just looking in every nook and cranny. That's just how I operate, so to speak. And I guess to clarify, me personally, I don't have a relevant degree or anything like that in the political field. So perhaps the only reason why you should, or even consider listening to me, is this knack for, not just knack, it's a love. It's a love for information. And that coupled with the my passion for politics is why I would say I'm trustworthy. But let me put it this way. In the future episodes, you'll see that I quote and cite all of the research that I use to formulate, we'll call them initiations. Like I mentioned, I don't really want to say opinions. I want to say an initiation of analytical reasoning is what I want to say. And all of those quotes or citations or links or whatever will be in the description or somewhere else. It'll be visible somewhere so that you yourself can fact check me if you feel the need. I wanted to say something else. What did I want to say? Something about... Right. So, in addition to that, I think that since I've had this personal experience where I felt that my emotions have, betrayed me, I think that I've come accustomed to not listening to my emotions that much, and rather looking at the information primarily. It's not even an instinct to react to something I see on social media emotionally anymore. Like if I see something outrageous, like, I don't know, who knows, like something like 50% of immigrants, I don't know, have committed a crime or something like that. Something completely outrageous, The first initiation that I have, or the first process that I have, is I just research it. And it turns out, now, I didn't actually research this. I'll make that disclaimer right now. But, this is an example. Turns out that 5% of immigrants have committed crimes. Don't quote me on that. I didn't actually research that. It's just as an example. And then you can say, oh, okay, well, 5%, that's fine. That's probably what it is for the normal population of, residents. Again, these aren't the real facts, but I think you understand that this is the process with which I would go about doing things. Right. A little more information to me, I guess. 24 years old. I don't know if I said that or not. I guess I come from a somewhat privileged background. But I wouldn't say that I'm act privileged, but I guess it's hard to judge yourself with topics such as this. Nonetheless, I'd say I'm pretty grounded, and I guess the point of this podcast is that I'm not trying to create a platform or anything like that for myself. That's not really what I'm interested in. I'm trying to generate a change in mindset. If one other person sees this and is like, well, yeah, this is how it should be, then I would be satisfied already. But of course, the more the merrier. So, yeah. And I guess I'll just speak real briefly to Purple as itself, as you can probably guess. The idea is you have red, GOP, you have blue, Democrats. And as I was researching, because I have already begun the research for most of the episodes that will be, I'm trying to air them on Thursdays at 6 p.m. Eastern, see how that goes. As I've been researching, I think it's become apparent to me that the truth is never red, it's never blue. More often than not, it's purple. It's somewhere in between. And you see, it's these emotional escalations that have been produced that don't allow for marginal opinions or logical marginal viewpoints. But the truth is never simple. Rarely. We'll say rarely. The truth is rarely simple. It's complex, and solutions aren't always clear. And frankly, I think there's no side that can produce consistently ideal solutions to our most pressing topics. And now to clarify, I'm not trying to procure a new political party in America. I think that the mindset needs to be produced first before America can be ready for a political party that would operate on this mindset. I mean, it would be nice if we, wouldn't it be nice if we actually made our decisions based on, logical conclusions instead of erratic emotional discourse? That would be pretty cool. But it's a lofty ambition, and I guess, like I said, I'd like to take it one step at a time. So, yeah, thank you for tuning in. As I mentioned, the goal is to have the new episodes out on Thursdays at 6 p.m. Eastern. I can go ahead and tell you right now that the first episode is called Democracy and Heresy. Thank you very much for tuning in. I hope to see you on Thursday and in the future episodes. Take it easy.